so keep that in mind.
Yeah, hey, forget I asked.
That'll definitely
Ew.
do.
Join the Discord.
It was the least fun I've ever had playing this game.
A small but vibrant and extremely humble community.
No, I've seen the sleeves, but I'm like, you said you're suiting up, and then you put your sleeve on. Thank you for saying that.
Because I'm a demon on the keys.
Next thing I know, we're both dead. I immediately left the lobby.
In Vietnam.
What are they playing for? Are they playing to win?
Stay humble.
Stay humble.
We are live. Welcome to the Dropshot, episode number 26. My name is Casey, also known as Razanon. I am boiling from the inside, and I am also joined, as always, by my good friend Tanner. Tanner, say hello to everyone.
What's going on, everybody? I'm not boiling at 76 in my house. It feels great.
Yeah, so air conditioning is banned in the twitch.tv/Razanon household, sadly, the vast majority of the time. So that's my air conditioning right there. So I'm pointing to my window with a box fan in it. If you're listening to this on your favorite podcasting app, thank you. Rate it 5 stars on iTunes. And also you can find the video episodes on YouTube and on Facebook. My Facebook uploads are a little behind though, but the YouTube ones are up to date. So when my upload speed gets better, I'll be keeping up with the Facebook videos as well. But regardless, episode 26, quite a bit to talk about today, more than I expected there to be. A lot more news than patch notes, but there are definitely some patch notes and some hidden patch notes that we will be going over, which will be good for you guys to know, of course. But we'll start with a couple announcements. And excuse me, Tanner, you have all the announcements today, so the floor is yours, Senator.
Let it be known, this is, out of 26 episodes, this is the first one you haven't had an announcement. So that's really strange. I don't know what's going on. Just a couple quick announcements. I mentioned on the last pod I was going to get sub emotes. I mean, not sub emotes, sub emotes, channel emotes made. Those are in progress. Should have those by next Monday. The guy had about 42 orders in the queue because he's the most popular person on Fiverr with 2,300 5-star reviews. The Dropshot LLC only hires the best.
I would like to get 23,000 5-star reviews or whatever the fuck you said, by the way. So iTunes users, keep that in mind. Go on.
Yep. Also, another guy's making a little logo for me. I literally told him I like the color red. Here's my Twitch name. Make me something. So we'll see how that comes out.
Not great, probably.
Well, it was $5 and it was unlimited revisions. So he had like 12 5-star reviews. So he'll be good enough.
Yeah, 12.
I don't care about that.
Huge.
Yeah, well, okay.
We have more than that.
Okay.
So.
And my only other announcement is my PC parts are arriving daily. They're flooding. They're flooding my house. Ordered the new motherboard today. Pretty much all that's left now, in terms of the PC build itself, is for the 10th gen Intel CPUs to launch. Should be in probably about a week or so. You can pre-order them. Then after that, or coming up soon, it's XLR mic time. So we'll get that all set up. By the end of the month, we'll have a new computer, better streaming quality, better voice quality. It's going to be great.
It is going to be great. Have you decided on whether or not you're going 10 or 9th generation for the CPU?
Oh, I'm just going 10th. Even if it's not that much better than the 9th, it's basically going to be the same price.
And it'll give you a streaming PC in the pretty close to the future.
Yeah, very close. Here's the thing. The new 10 series, the 10900, it's not going to be worse than the 9900. It may be barely better. It may be about the same, but it's not going to be worse. So I'll just get that one, you know?
It looks like it's going to be a bit better. It might also be better at not running hot as shit, which would be good.
They did change something with the way it was made, like the dies. that it's made in. So supposedly that's supposed to help with the temperatures. Regardless, don't give a fuck. It's not going to overheat. I don't care. I have air conditioning. I have a fan in my room. I'll put a fucking fan facing the inside of the case. Fun fact, back in Call of Duty 4, my PC used to overheat in the middle of scrims and matches. So I left the side panel open and I would leave a fan blowing on it. So I would
loved that story the first time I heard it.
I would blue screen occasionally. So I always had that open. I would leave my window open because it was right next to it and just blow that cold air in at night.
Yeah, well, you got to do what you got to do.
So
that's hashtag love of the game.
Yeah.
Like kind of like the Jordan documentary. So excuse me, that's it for that. Now today is Wednesday, and as such, we will be going over patch notes, news items, and our first section is going to be recent patches. So there's a couple recent patches and some hidden changes as well, and then a lot of news items to cover with a lot of implications, and then a funny little anecdote at the end. So make sure you stick around for that. Without further ado, let's get into patch notes. So MW2 Campaign Remastered is now available for Xbox and PC players. Did you even install this, Tanner?
No.
I have a 2 terabyte M.2 SSD, so I just install whatever. Sometimes I'll install shit just because I'm bored. And then it won't make a fucking dent, as Crystalia would say, in my hard drive space. But anyway, this is available now, so in case you missed out on that or were looking forward to that. Still no news on Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer, as far as I saw anyway. This is also deeply amusing to me, and we'll go into this a little more. Modern Warfare and Warzone April 30th update, bounties return. So there were a couple changes. I'm not really going to go over any of these other than they had, and this is a record for me in any game ever, they added in a new type of contract called Most Wanted, where in the BR, Warzone, there would be a contract you could pick up that would mark you on every other team's map. And if they killed you, they got a payout. There were way too many of them, so like everyone took them. And it was also useless because if you took the bounty and then didn't die, the reward was it would spawn in your teammates who are already dead. But it's way easier to just go buy them back, especially because you have to wait 5 minutes for that contract to complete. So you have to stay alive for 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, you can easily get $4,500 to buy someone back. So it was useless. There were too many of them. And they did away with the regular bounties where you pick up the contract, it marks an enemy player, and then you kill the player, you get the money. It replaced that. Everyone was pissed about it because of how bad an idea it was and how poorly it was done. So literally the next day, they reverted that change, and there's no longer a most wanted bounty, and there won't be. So 2 implications from this. Number 1, negative feedback works, and everyone complained about it. And number 2, when you use 3 implications. Number 2, surprisingly, they pushed this reversion out very quickly, to their credit. So good on them for immediately changing this back because it was a fucking disaster. But the last point, which I talked about when we went over the most wanted contract, is that it is insane to me that they didn't anticipate that this was going to be a terrible idea for a contract. And it goes to show you that the development team at Infinity Ward does not play their own game. So keep all of those things in mind.
Question. Is it, you said it's not coming back. Is that confirmed?
No, it is not confirmed, but under what circumstances would it come back?
I'm almost positive it'll come back. They're just not clear in any of the patch notes. I mean, they remove stuff all the time and say, hey, we removed Anaya Palace without telling us what it's for. I think it'll come back. They're not going to spend that time to make it and then just scrap it after a day. They'll just change something and
what
put
would
it back
they change?
in. I don't know. I like it way better how it is. But I know some people were excited for that because, if they're a good player going for a ton of kills, they want people to know where they're at and they want people to push them. So I don't know. I think it'll end up going back in eventually.
I would be okay with it if they reduced the number of them, if they didn't replace bounties, and they made the reward substantially better. Because the reward, how it works, is not good. And at all. Like, it's not worth taking. 5 minutes is too long. And there were way too many of the bounties of the most wanteds for that contract to be dangerous to take. Because if there's as many as there were before, then since everyone has it, no one's in danger. It's just like you mark everyone on the map. So if they can do it well, it would be cool to bring it back. But I have no faith that they can do it well. And I also have little faith that they wouldn't replace the regular bounties again, which I'm a huge fan of. Ethereal subscribed with Twitch Prime for 3 months. Let's fucking go! Ethereal, thank you, sir. It's an honor and a privilege to have you here. Ethereal, the acquitted. Welcome back to this small but vibrant and extremely humble community here at twitch.tv/Razdon. I appreciate you, sir. We're just going over some patch notes. You're just in time. So, anyways, the bounties are back. I thought it was funny. I've never seen a change get reverted so quickly. Another little news item here is that they activated double XP from the 1st to the 4th of May. And that was double regular XP, weapon XP, and tier progression. And they've since announced that they're going to extend this through to the 8th, which will be Friday. So this entire week, there's going to be double XP, double weapon XP, double tier progression. Seems random to me, though. Like, I feel like they do this all the time, Tanner. What are your thoughts on that?
It's not random in the sense that they said they were doing it as a token of their appreciation for the servers being fucked up that entire weekend.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. That's probably why we've gotten so many double XPs, because they fuck up every.
I mean, yeah. I mean, XP doesn't matter because there's no prestige system in the game.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Thanks for it's the thought that counts, I guess.
The double weapon and double tier can be useful for some people. But
this is probably the least I've ever played of any season so far. I still haven't hit 155. I'm like 136.
Yeah, I don't think either of us have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a testament to how few challenges and shit are in this game. Qualkice with the Twitch Prime. Let's fucking go. Qualkice, thank you, brother, for that Twitch Primerino, 4 months. It's an honor and a privilege to have a SWOTOR fellow traveler in the chat. Welcome. I appreciate it, dude. So anyway, double XP through to May 8th. And then this week in Modern Warfare, new playlists. So let's dive into this. Let's see. Scrolling down. Demolition is back. And I think there's been an additional playlist update since this. Do you know, Tanner?
I'm not positive.
Okay. Well,
I don't think so. I think this is the most recent.
Okay. So Demolition is players attempt to outsmart and overpower the other team. I think it's like S&D with respawns. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
And then there's some, oh my God, there's this dumb fucking bundle with the Aya-chan camo for the cargo truck that has actually been getting a lot of buzz on Twitter. I don't know why. I don't know what this weird obsession with anime characters is amongst presumably adults, or even young adults. I can never tell when someone has like a weeb like emblem or calling card or camo. I can never tell if they're being ironic or if they actually like this shit. I can never tell, because everyone who like actually reps it, they like kind of pretend they're being ironic, But that, I have a feeling most of them are not being ironic. And if that's you, you disgust me. How about that? Grow up. It's weird. Keep that bullshit in Maple Story, says Crichton. I couldn't agree more. So anyway, if you're a fucking weeaboo, then congratulations. There's some dumb pink anime emblems and camos for you. Trios Plunder Blood Money also got added. So basically, it's Plunder, which is 3s by default. So teams of 3. However, every single time you get a kill, they drop cash. The enemy drops cash. So even if they just dropped in and they have $0 in their inventory, they will still drop cash if they're killed. And then you also get bonus cash for doing assassinations, which is kind of a cool little touch, I guess. But this would incentivize slaying out. It would reward players for actually killing other players instead of just running around the map looting. I think that's great. I think that's cool. But I haven't actually tried this yet. And then we still have for the BR solos, 3s, and quads. Let's see. And that's pretty much it for that one. What else do we have here? I think this is largely the same article. Oh, this is interesting. I want to hear your thoughts on this, Tanner. Here's what's new as of May 5th, which was yesterday at the time of recording this. Disabled helicopters in BR. Why do you think this was done?
It was done because people were flying under the map. There was a bug. They were getting under the map and flying around.
Okay. Okay.
So, of course, once again, they don't say the reason why. They don't say disabled helicopters in BR to fix some bugs, iron out some bugs. They're not transparent. They just say disabled helicopters. So
yeah.
If you got hired to write patch notes and that's how you write patch notes, you should be fired. So
yeah, I mean, couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. But nonetheless, that's the case. We'll see how long that's out of the game. They're trying to fix bugs with Anaya Palace for Ground War. And as far as I can tell, that is still not in the game. And that's been, what, 2 or 3 weeks now?
I claimed it was back in, but I know you were saying that one time you were playing and it was nowhere to be found. Maybe you just got super unlucky.
It might be back in with Boots on the Ground War, which we'll get into. So right now. So they took out Cranked 3v3 Gunfight. They took out regular Ground War, and then they took out Ground War Reinfected. They took out Shoot the Ship, put in Shipment 24/7. So if you guys are grinding Damascus, you should be happy about that. Gun Game became Gun Game Reloaded. Don't know what that means. And then Demolition, which we went over, and then Boots on the Ground War. So as far as I understand it now, Boots on the Ground War, unlike last time, is not going to be realism rule set. It's going to be the regular ass rule set. The only difference is there are no tanks or APCs or IAVs, which is absolutely fucking fantastic. And that would make Ground War actually quite fun to play again, because I haven't played it in a while. And Boots on the Ground War without the realism mode would really bring me back. So that's good. I'm really excited to see that and give that a go. So
same here. That almost makes me want to play Ground War all week instead of Warzone.
We'll figure it out.
We will. We always do.
Yeah. So there's also some new bundles. One for Mace. It looks cool. It's on the screen here, so you can see that. And then that's about it. I think the other bundle is the Weeaboo bundle. So that'll be interesting. I'm not sure when helicopters will return, but I like that Boots on the Ground War is added. That's like my biggest thing for that. And then now, of course, we have some hidden changes. And these are courtesy of Exclusive Ace. I mention him on almost every episode of the podcast, certainly on almost every episode of the Wednesday edition of the Wednesday episodes. There were some hidden changes. So these are all from Exclusive Ace's videos. I highly recommend you check them out on YouTube. For the Dragunov, they buffed it. So first of all, they changed how it sounds. Second of all, they upped the damage, kind of. So headshots still do the same amount of damage. Upper torso still does the same amount of damage. But limb damage, they increased. So before the patch, limb damage was 63 to 45, depending on how close you were to the target. Now, limb damage and lower torso damage is 70 to 50. So the lowest damage value you can possibly get now with the Dragunov is 50. So what that means is you will never have to shoot more than, or you'll never have to land more than 2 bullets to get a kill with the Dragunov. Whereas before, there were cases where if you were only shooting limbs, you'd have to shoot 3 times. So big buff to the Dragunov. In addition, it has a little bit more bullet velocity now. A little bit more. So you don't have to aim quite as high or account for as much bullet drop as you used to. But it's a really small difference. And again, I would encourage you guys, if you want to get into these hidden changes, to go to Exclusive Ace's channel on YouTube and watch the video, because he goes into way more detail than I'm going to. Do you think, Tanner, that this would make the Dragunov viable in either Warzone or multiplayer?
I don't know. It's not the greatest. I mean, it's better than before, but I mean, the upper torso damage didn't change. I don't know. I think it's still, at the end of the day, this has too much recoil. That's how I feel when I use it. It's too snappy. You fire a shot. In this game, it's hard to get your aim back down right on their body again. It's one of the few guns in the game that's like that. So I don't know. I think if they reduce the recoil, it would make it a lot better. Otherwise, it's still not that usable.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely way better in multiplayer than in Warzone because it is too bouncy. And if you are playing Warzone and someone's fully armored, you're going to have to land multiple shots. Multiple shots. And if that's the case, then having a really high recoil weapon like the Dragunov is just not going to be good. So I tend to agree with you. It does help for multiplayer, though. I always did pretty well with it in multiplayer. I just like other guns better. Especially if I'm going to go semi-auto, I'm going to go SKS. Like, there's no reason to use a Dragunov when an SKS exists, you know? So, anyways. Additionally, there are changes to delay between pulling trigger and the gun firing. So, with the LMGs in this game, some of them, when you pull the trigger, you don't start firing right away. So, like, if you have an MP5, for example, as soon as you press down on the trigger, bullets start flying out of the barrel. With some of the LMGs, there's a delay. And Exclusive Ace described this as an open bolt delay. I don't know what that means. I've never seen a gun in real life. But this is a real life thing that guns have called an open bolt design. And it causes a delay between pulling the trigger and the gun shooting. And then here are some changes. Only 2, but they're pretty big. So the first one's the SA-87. The delay between pulling the trigger and a bullet coming out of the gun for the SA-87 used to be 180 milliseconds. That is now gone. As soon as you pull the trigger now on the SA-87, it's going to start firing. Now, you might not have noticed that there's a bullet delay. You might have thought it was slow handling, slow sprint to fire, or slow ADS time. That's what I thought until I watched this video. I didn't know that any gun had bullet delay, but it explains a lot. So if you use the SA-87 now, it's a lot better because you're basically increasing your ADS and sprint out times by 180 milliseconds, which is fucking huge. So if you use the SA-87 before and you liked it, you're going to like it a lot more now because that is an insanely huge buff on top of the previous buff to the SA-87 that happened maybe 6 weeks ago. So the SA-87 is really fucking good. Really fucking good. And then they also made a change to the MG34. It used to be a 317 millisecond open bolt delay. They reduced that to about 67 milliseconds. So that's, again, a roughly 250 millisecond increase in the handling speed in general of the MG34. And the MG34, by the way, really slow, but a lot less slow now. And really slow reload speed. But the damage is fucking insane. And it has the fastest time to kill of any automatic weapon in Modern Warfare. So now that they've also added this buff on top of that to the MG34, I could see this thing actually potentially being really fucking good, particularly in Warzone where the health pools are higher, because no one's going to be able to shred you faster than you can shred them, assuming everyone's landing their shots. So, if you liked LMGs, but you thought they were a little too slow, particularly the SA-87 and the MG34, I would strongly encourage you to give those a try again. So.
That's a big buff there. That sounds like it's going to make both of them a lot better.
Yes. Huge buff. Huge buff. And of course, by the way, let me point out, these were not in the patch notes. These were not in the patch notes. So someone had to uncover them. So good job, Infinity Ward. I wish we had tallied how many hidden changes they made so that we could tell you how many there were.
Tinfoil hats on.
Okay.
What if one of the devs at Infinity Ward is secretly putting in all these patches trying to fix the game from the inside? So that's why they're never in the patch notes, because his bosses don't know he's adding these things in and trying to fix the game up.
Dude,
damn, that's a black helicopter.
That
right
is
there.
a huge. I meant to press black helicopters right there. That's actually crazy, dude. There's some secret white hat psyop going on at the Infinity Ward studios, and he's relying on exclusive Ace to find these things out to point out to the people. We have an operative on the inside. The hidden changes have sometimes been good, but they haven't always been good. So.
Yeah, he's trying his best, though.
He's trying his best. He needs to come to me for further instructions. I'll be his new handler. What is it called when a secret agent has a fixer, right? I'll be his fixer. Call me Fixer 69. Anyways, moving on. So that's it for recent patches and changes. But like I said, there are a lot of news items to go over. So I'm sure I don't have to tell you guys this, but there had been extensive problems with finding a match. You would sit in a lobby forever and not find a match. Interestingly, this problem did not occur in Warzone, but it did occur in multiplayer. And this is going to be a recurring theme in today's news items, but this is number one of the development team ignoring multiplayer, letting problems fester in multiplayer, while no such problems exist for Warzone. Here's Exhibit A. Exhibit A, okay? For you ASL viewers out there, there's some sign language for you. American Sign Language, obviously. And only American Sign Language. So that had been going on for quite a while. But it seems to have been fixed now, and I think it only just got fixed today. So we'll see. I'll investigate. I'll report back if it's not actually fixed, but I believe that it is. And then another problem that has been going on for as long, according to this tweet, Activision support says on Twitter, "We're currently working on a fix for the Battle Pass appearing inactive for some players. Battle Pass progression and rewards are still working as intended." I don't know if that's true. I actually haven't checked. I know the progression is still working as intended. I don't know if I'm actually getting the rewards. And normally I would believe this tweet because the game developer tweeted it, but they've tweeted blatant fabrications many times for this game. So I'm not sure if rewards are working as intended. And then we'll provide
I can't
another.
confirm they are.
They are working?
They are working.
Okay.
I was complaining about that the other night, and then I leveled up like one time and I unlocked another operator. So it's still there. It's just, it looks like you don't have the battle pass.
Okay. So that's not that big of a deal in that case. Still kind of annoying though. But they said They will provide another update once they've resolved the issue. This has been ongoing for as long as the previous issue, but we still don't have a resolution for that. But if everything's working fine, I actually don't think it's that big of a deal. It's just annoying, and it just reeks of incompetence, which has been the story of Modern Warfare 2019. You know, I don't love to hate on this game, but they just actually leave me no choice. They leave me no choice. I go out of my way. I bend over backwards to give credit where credit is due when something is done well in this game. But those instances are just so few and far between that I rarely have occasion to say those things. Go ahead, Tanner.
No, it's just, yeah, we don't want to hate on this game. This game should have been the best Call of Duty honestly ever made. It should have been easily. The amount of content they were putting in, you know, the gunsmith, everything they added in, they just fell short with, you know, bugs, no prestige system, the mini map fucking people up for the first 3 months of the game. But it should have been the best Call of Duty ever made, to be honest.
It really should have been.
It's better than a lot of them still. It's better than a lot of recent ones. And people, the Call of Duty community always forgets that. You know, they get halfway through the life cycle and they're like, oh, bring on COD 2020, bring on COD 2021. They do it every fucking year.
That's true.
The game's not as bad as we sometimes and other people make it sound. I mean, we wouldn't have 12 days of playtime if we thought it was the worst game ever. But I don't know, dude. It's just for a company that makes as much money as they do, you would not think every update would be riddled with as many bugs as these updates are.
And it's just like you said, it's like we see the potential in the game because of all of the really good elements, but then they just made stupid decisions to like torch that. Like the gunsmith is so good. It's so good. I really, really, really love it. And like, there are a lot of really good guns. There's not like only one OP gun. Now it took them 5 changes to the M4 to make that happen, but it did. Like now the gun balance is actually quite good, I would say, especially compared to other COD titles. And there are other things that I could go on about all of the good things this game did. And that's why it's so disappointing to us that they have this foundation for such a great game, and then they ruined it with poor visibility, terrible maps, skill-based matchmaking, and other things, but those are probably the biggest ones. So that's why we get so pissed off about it. It's like, dude, I see your potential. You're not living up to it. Come on, man. Fuck. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. So, anyways, there's another example of that. So, this is a curious article, and I really have been waiting for this to come out of Infinity Ward dev team. So we're going to get into that. Warzone devs explain why game has limited playlists, says duos are coming soon. Okay, so in a recent interview with GamerGen, Infinity Ward's narrative lead, Taylor Kurosaki, and Raven Software's director, Amos Hodge, spoke about many different aspects of Warzone, including playlists. Blah, blah, blah. One of the things that has happened with Warzone is the devs have been rotating playlists in and out versus keeping a standard set of constant playlists, like multiplayer does. Hodge says this resolves... Okay, so they wrote resolves around, they meant revolves around. So that was not my mistake. I do know how to read. But Charlie Intel's writers, this is 2 mistakes I've noticed live on stream. So Charlie Intel, figure it out. Hodge says this revolves, asterisk, around the fact that the game has to matchmake with an E at the end. Error number 3 that I found live on Charlie Intel. Matchmakey, asterisk, 150 players per match, which becomes more challenging the more playlist options there are, especially in smaller regions of the world. This is fair. This is fair. Now, how do you resolve this, Tanner? We've said it before. How do you resolve not wanting to splinter up Warzone playlists too much? I'll help you out, Chief.
What have we said? Yeah.
You get rid of 3s, you put in 2s.
Oh, yeah. There should be,
Ones,
it should be,
4s.
yeah, exactly.
1s, 2s, 4s. We said it as many times as we possibly can. If you're okay with 1 3s, 4s, you should be okay with 1 2s, 4s. But they address duos specifically. So let's continue. Hodge confirms in the interview that duos is in development and coming soon, but the studio's working on some bugs with the mode before they can release. They said that the teams have heard player feedback for the mode and are working on it. Quote, "We had duos on Plunder, but I'm not sure where duos is. We got some bugs to work out with duos. But we're listening to the community. If you notice, we launched with just trios, then we added solos, then we added quads. I did notice, thanks. So we will get to a place where we add duos in the future. There's just no exact time I can give you for now, but duos is coming. You've already seen it in Plunder. Mistake number 4, Charlie Intel, figure it out. But there's just thing, mistake number 5, Charlie Intel. We got to figure out, find the right timing and everything else." Who is this written by? Hold on. The co-founder, Keshav, dude. Come on, brother. If you need more staff writers, you can hit my DMs, twitter.com/Razanon. Because you need help. You need help.
If any of the Dropshot listeners, if you've ever taken an English class in high school, you should apply for charlieintel.com because, hey, you could probably write for them.
Probably. But, okay. So, what, Tanner, I'm curious what your opinion is. What could constantly constitute action? What could possibly constitute a bug in duos that is somehow not extant for solos, trios, or quads? Like, how is there a special bug in 2s that they were able to figure out easily for 1s, 3s, 4s, but they can't figure out for 2s?
I have no idea. That's so weird. That doesn't make any sense.
It makes no sense, dude. And I've been thinking about this for quite a while because Tanner and I have wanted duos for what, a month now? 6 weeks? 2 months? We've wanted duos for a very long time, and we keep clamoring for them. And we keep saying, Tanner keeps saying, it'll be here next update. It'll be here next update. And we're always wrong. So I've been thinking about this quite a bit. What could possibly exist as a bug that is unique to a player team consisting of 2 that does not exist for a player team consisting of 1 or 3? I don't know. I have no theories for you. I have none. So
my question is, since when does Infinity Ward care about putting out a game mode or patch with bugs in it?
That's a fair point. Yeah, they're happy to rush out every other fucking thing they do, like the most wanted contract. But for something that they actually that people actually really want, they refuse to release it. I don't get it. Anyways, let's catch up on the chat here real quick. Let me scroll up here. I'm going to make an MG34 class for Warzone and see how that goes. Yeah. Hell yeah, brother. Essentially got a free light trigger pull attachment. Yeah, pretty much, Damascus. Exactly. All right. Infinity Wars are clowns. True. Bring back map voting. You can't have map voting and fucking skill-based matchmaking. I made that revelation a couple episodes ago, sadly. L Counts, thank you for the follow, dude. Looking for group boys. My PC should be finished next week. Let's fucking go. I'm still so happy, Elk, that you decided to convert to the PC master race after having heard the episode, A Console is Not a PC. You love to hear it. You love to fucking hear it. Server browser days. Yeah, they still have server browser in BL1, Tanner. and BO2, I think. English are hard, though. They need to do better updates. Sarah, welcome. I couldn't agree more. They're all trash. They all break the game. They all introduce 2 bugs while fixing 1. Best case scenario, by the way. Let's see. So Warzone does not have duos yet? No, sir, Curtis, it does not. Get Tom Hanks. This is the Da Vinci Code. Yeah, Damascus. There's a lot of conspiracies to be had for this shit game. So, Shadow, what's up, brother? How's it going? I started grinding Path of Exile again. Super unlucky for sure. 29 years old. I had to grow up sometime. You sure did, and you've decided to do so. So, it's never too late to join the PC Master Race, and we will be honored and privileged and humbled to have you. So, with that, let's move on here. So hopefully we'll see duos soon, but they didn't give us a timetable, so don't expect it too soon. But this next one will be of a lot of interest to everyone as well. Warzone devs tease content to come in Season 4, clarifies Fortnite-like events comments. So we had speculation on the Fortnite-like events, and I am curious what their clarification will consist of. So iDub and Raven have given a very first preview of some content to expect with Call of Duty Warzone in Season 4 of the game. Season 4 should begin around the first week of June, so it's another 4 weeks roughly. Let's see. The storyline will continue with Season 4 of the game, and new people will be dropping in to join the fight, so the new operators. He also says that some mysterious and clues... 6? He also says that some mysterious and clues will be unlocked in Season 4, he meant mysteries, for players to explore and learn more. So, what does this mean to you, Tanner? Because I'm pretty sure I know what it means.
Those cards people have been finding around the map, right?
Yes, absolutely. And I stick by my theory that those cards refer to, or those bunkers have just a bunch of loot in them. And maybe a loadout drop guarantee. Or like a kiosk for a loadout drop. But we will see. I suspect in Season 4, all of the puzzle pieces will be present. And then it'll take some nerd approximately 45 minutes to figure out how they go together and then open the bunker. So that should be interesting.
Elk gets it, by the way. Tanks in the bunkers, Alex Jones. Yeah, he's right. There's no reason to have loot in there, though. There's custom loadouts in the game.
Camps. There's FEMA camps. FEMA camps run by Hillary Clinton and George Soros.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
Maybe there's gay frogs in the bunker.
Dude, they don't need loot in the bunker. There's custom loadouts. What would be in there? What are they putting in there? They're gonna put in loot and think they were so fucking clever.
Dude, I would not be surprised. I would actually not be surprised.
That's what it's gonna be. That's what's sad. They're such dumb shits.
Maybe it'll be like loadout drops and like a kill streak guaranteed or something.
Oh, or perks maybe? No, that wouldn't matter either because the custom loadouts.
Matter, yeah.
But it'll be maybe you're right. Yeah, kill streaks. I don't know. I'm still saying tanks, dude. Rolling 3 tanks deep on trios.
Yeah. So, let's see. Anyways, so they made a couple pronouncements about that. Players have already discovered that there is a whole other part of Verdansk they haven't seen yet. They found clues and that there is more than meets the eye in this city. Season 4 will unravel some of those mysteries, you got it right this time, and unlock some of them for our players. As the battle in Verdansk wages on, things will grow more desperate. There are going to be more and more fighters sent in to turn the tide, and we're very excited to get our players to see and join alongside these new great warriors as they continue to fight. Yikes. I wonder if this means they're going to increase the total population or the total size of a lobby in Warzone. Am I reading too much into this? Am I getting too...
Black helicopters.
I thought the original rumors were they were supporting up to 200 players, but I don't know, dude.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. So I wouldn't be surprised if that came in Season 4. It would be interesting to play with that many players, too. It'd be harder to win. A lot harder to win. Especially with skill-based matchmaking. Because if you add 50 extra players that are in your skill bracket, you've made it much harder to win. as opposed to 50 random players to a lobby, you know?
Yeah.
We did not cover anything about cheating players, and there's nothing to cover. Players are just cheating. But I'm going to talk about that a little bit at the very end here. So there's going to be new loot for players to find as well, including new field upgrades. So do you think these new field upgrades are going to be field upgrades that are new to Warzone but that exist in multiplayer? Or new field upgrades for multiplayer and Warzone? Or new field upgrades for only Warzone? Tanner?
I think that's going to be just new field upgrades that they're bringing to Warzone. Well, what field upgrades are even left?
Let's see. Dead Silence, Munitions Box, Tac Insert. Don't know how they would make that work.
Munitions drop. That
Recon Drone's already there.
I don't know, dude.
Yeah, I don't know either, actually.
So it's like it would have to be totally new upgrades.
Well, there's Tac Insert, and I think there's like one or two more that are not currently in Warzone. But maybe they're just brand new field upgrades. So that'll be interesting. We'll see. This is interesting too. He also says that some loot will be added that extend beyond what's available to them in loadouts. Give me 1 second. Sorry. Mama came in. So I don't know what would be loot available that extends beyond what's currently available in loadouts. I guess field upgrades would be one thing. I don't know what else would be new. Because there's already perks in loadouts. You know?
Yeah, I don't understand what that means.
Some loot will be added that extend beyond what's available in loadouts. Interesting. And there will be new modes. I don't know. I don't know what that means. I'll think about that a little more. This is my first time reading this, so. But that should be interesting. Maybe. Yeah, fuck. I don't know, dude. It could be something like similar to self-revive, similar to gas mask. But I don't really know what it could be beyond that. Maybe like a better gas mask. Yeah, and there's like armor satchel too. So it'll probably be something like that. Maybe you can have more total health or something like that. I don't know, but we'll see. On the gameplay stuff, I can tell you there will definitely be new modes. We're constantly working on modes. So new modes will be releasing, and we're working on new content. Jesus Christ, this guy can't talk. New items in game that you can put in your loadout. There will be new items to find in BR and Plunder that aren't in your loadout to add gameplay and a little looting. I'm so sorry this is so poorly said and written. There will be new field upgrades, for example. So we're working on new field upgrades, new modes, new loot in general that you can get in your loadout to add some new spice to the game. Worst phrasing I've ever seen in my life. So we'll see. We'll see. I wish that they would add last stand when downed. Maybe that would be something, Elk. That's a good point. That's a very good point. I could see them doing that as like a status you get similar to self-revive. Where like if you have something on you and you get downed, you have a new prompt since you bought a self-revive that allows you to self-revive. It might be the same for last stand, maybe. It's a good idea. I don't know if they would add that, but it would be interesting. Let's see here. And then they clarified some comments on Warzone having Fortnite-like events. He says that Fortnite and Modern Warfare are very different and going for different approaches. I wouldn't say they're Fortnite-like events because Fortnite is such a different type of a game than Modern Warfare. With Fortnite, you know that the world is ever evolving and ever changing so much you kind of don't want to go away from it or you might miss something. It's the same thing with Warzone. Interesting. So a narrative story has been in the works. In terms of story, we've been setting up a narrative since before the game came out. MW exists in a world that operates not unlike the world we live in. blah, blah, blah. Okay, so all this tells me that there's going to be some type of narrative structure to the event. But that actually doesn't really tell me anything about what the actual event will consist of. Do you have any new thoughts? Did you glean anything from this at all, Tanner?
No, I mean, I don't know. I mean, everyone kept talking about the dam breaking and parts of the map being flooded or something, but I think that would be stupid.
I
Wouldn't
agree.
be fun. Nobody wants to play in water. That's no. So I don't know, dude. I would rather have a second map, if anything. I want a desert map.
Yeah. Yeah, a second map would be nice. I don't see that coming anytime soon, though.
No.
But anyway, we'll see what those entail. But that should all be interesting. I am very curious what all this new shit is going to be like. That will be fun to see. But again, I just hope they don't go above and beyond with these dumb fucking events. But the reality is the event is going to be nowhere near the scope, scale, or grandness of the events that Fortnite has. Not that I've ever played Fortnite, but from what Tanner's told me, I don't think they're going to get that ambitious. And I hope they don't. Because it would take them too long. They have bugs to fix, so don't waste your time on a dumb fucking cosmetic event. And the greater thing you're trying to do, the more likely you're going to introduce bugs into your shit game, so don't do it. So keep all of that in mind. Anyways. Moving on here, we've got a little leak. Data mining. This is actually from 6 days ago. The 30th. Maybe that's 7 days ago, I'm not sure. And now we're going to the very special website called reddit.com. Before the playlists, blah, blah, blah. So there are 3 key cards, green, red, and blue. So that's interesting. And then I think the only key cards that are currently in the game are red. So maybe season 4, they'll add like green. Season 5, they add blue. And then you can finally get in the bunkers. But here are the leaked playlists. Classic BR. No cash, contracts, gulags, loadouts, or respawns. How do you think this will play, Tanner?
I think that would play how I wanted to try the BR originally. But people will probably think it's boring.
I don't think this will be a staple.
No.
I don't think this will like stay in the game. I think it's going to be just one of those limited time modes like Blood Money or like Plunder Duos is, where they add it for like a week and then it goes away, which kind of sucks, but it's kind of cool. I don't know. I mean, I would have liked to have seen, I don't know. I'm not sure. I think this is too classic for me to enjoy. I like the cash. The only thing I don't like is the loadouts. So, but that wouldn't be a sufficient change to make a new playlist for. So, anyway, Mo Gulag, Mo Problems. Yikes name. Dead players go to Gulag until the final 3 circles. No buybacks. What? What does that mean?
If you die 4 times, you just keep going to the Gulag. And so if you keep winning them,
oh,
you keep
so
back.
You're not limit. Okay, got it. So if you die in the Gulag, you're done.
Yeah, if you
but
die
you
in the
can
Gulag,
also go to the
like
Gulag an infinite amount of times unless it's the final 3 circles. Okay, that's interesting. Kind of dumb, won't play it, but it's interesting. BYOL, bring your own loadout. You start with your loadout. That would be interesting. This is what I think they should have done as the base thing, assuming they want people to have their own loadouts, which they obviously do because they're so easy to get your own loadouts. And I think I mentioned this, Tanner. Like, if they're going to make it so easy for us to buy a loadout, why don't you just let us drop with it? And that's what this playlist is. Would you enjoy that?
I like how Plunder plays like that. Could be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be fun. It's hard for me to get hyped about temporary playlists, though. That's another thing.
Yeah, none of these will stay longer than a week, so keep that in mind.
Exactly.
And half of them we'll probably never see at all. So
yeah, that's another decent proposition. But it's like I like to just like there's always going to be domination or team deathmatch in Call of Duty. Those are always going to play the same, and like there's always going to be base Warzone, you know. So those things are worth really delving into and getting excited about. All these temporary playlists, they sound fun, but I don't know. Non-stop, gas always closing. Pew pew. High damage pistols and explosive physics. That's going to be the worst. If you play this unironically, kill yourself in game. How about that? So I'm never playing that playlist. Run like hell. Circles faster than a running player. Okay, it already is, but it's just going to be even faster, I guess. Let's see. Bottom line, when a player dies, they will drop back into the fight if they have enough cash on them. Gulag disabled. Interesting.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Realism mode, that would be interesting as well. And then the rest have no description. So one of the names is Infinite Gulag. One of them is Most Wanted. This is probably somewhat related to the contract they had for Most Wanted. But I don't know in what way. One Shot is probably like hardcore as opposed to merely realism. Stimulus, I'm guessing more money available. Of course they named it Stimulus. Or just increased money rates in general. And then Inflation Redeployment is the name of the last one. And there's no description for most of those last ones, which is why I didn't describe a lot of them. Inflation Redeployment. I don't know. So anyway, those are some temporary playlists we can expect pretty soon. We'll probably see a couple of these before Season 4 and a couple of them in Season 4. That would not surprise me at all. But nonetheless, you can keep your eyes peeled for that. What else do we have here? Another tweet. This is from Charlie Intel. And I think this is all a couple tweets I'm going to go over right now are based on a quarterly like stockholder meeting or report or whatever the fuck those capitalists pigs do 4 times a year. And so there are a couple tweets that go into details about what was said at this earnings quarter, whatever, fiduciary fiscal money words meeting. Activision will release a new season of content for MW and Warzone this quarter. So April to June. Okay. So why did they tweet this yesterday? Because it's already May. So they're basically saying June at the latest.
Activision, yeah. Well, Activision announced it yesterday. That's why.
Yeah, I guess. Alongside new content and seasons for COD Mobile. That's why. Oh, no. That's an additional thing. So anyway, yeah, we kind of already went over this though. But from April to June, there will be Season 4. So probably early June, as I mentioned earlier. There's another tweet. The president of Activision said the amount of players who got Warzone and then upgraded to MW was, quote, higher than they predicted it would be. Interesting. So, Tanner, what are your thoughts on reading this?
It makes sense.
It does make sense.
It's good that they, I think a lot of games now can go free to play. They have that ability with all the microtransactions. Like 8 years ago, sure, you paid $60 because there was no other way for the development team to make money after release when they sold the game. So now it makes a lot of sense. Games can be free to play like that, like Warzone, and then, they end up liking it and they're like, oh, okay, I'll buy multiplayer. So it was expected for sure.
It was
expected. Wish they would patch multiplayer now.
Well, here's what... When I saw this tweet, I was not happy about it. And here's why. The amount of players who got Warzone, which is a free-to-play game, and then upgraded to Modern Warfare, which means who then decided to spend money, was higher than they predicted it would be. What that means is their free-to-play battle royale paid multiplayer kind of schematic for how to make money worked really well for them. Now, why is that bad? Well, if there was anti-cheat in Warzone, it wouldn't be that bad. But since there isn't, we can expect two things. Number one, the next battle royale that comes to Call of Duty, which will probably be COD 2020, is also going to be free to play because it made them even more money than they predicted it would this time around. And number two, there's still not going to be anti-cheat because despite the fact that there is no anti-cheat, it still made them a bunch of money. So they're not going to go through the labor of making a bunch of anti-cheat software if they're going to be getting a bunch of money anyways. So they're going to do things probably exactly the same way next year as they have this year, which means free-to-play Warzone that's rampant with hackers and then a paid multiplayer experience. And another reason that's bad for people who really like multiplayer is that multiplayer will continue to be neglected at the expense or for the benefit of Warzone. And that's exactly what we're seeing now. They see Warzone as their cash cow. Warzone's free to play. We're going to spend all of our time making that really good to convince players to buy multiplayer. But once they've bought multiplayer, we have their money. We don't need to worry about making multiplayer much better. And that's why we've seen all of these development resources being pushed into Warzone and multiplayer being totally neglected, which I said was going to be a recurring theme in these news items. So I am not happy to see this. I'm also not surprised at all that it's working. So best case scenario is that they have anti-cheat for the next BR. That would be good. And it's possible that they do that. But what I do not see as possible is that in the next Call of Duty, the multiplayer gets as much attention as the Warzone, as the BR. I do not see that happening ever because that's not what's going to increase their bottom line, as evidenced by the experiment they ran this year with their BR this year and the multiplayer this year. So that sucks, but
Thought that one through. Those are some deep thoughts there.
big brain. Yeah. Well, you just always got to look at the money with these slimy cocksuckers. Always got to look at the money, dude. So we can expect, again, I went over it, but so that's one thing that was said at that little quarterly earnings report or whatever. What else do we have here? Oh, here's another perfect example. Quote from Activision: "We are going to continue to invest in Warzone significantly in terms of content, new modes, new ways to play, and more." End quote. What is not mentioned in that statement?
Multiplayer?
Multiplayer. Who fucking called it? Once again, if Warzone is what's going to get them all the money, they're going to put all of their money into Warzone. And they're going to put all of their time and resources into Warzone. So if you enjoy multiplayer, you're shit out of luck, kid. It'll be good next year, but it's not going to be great. And it's going to be more buggy than the next BR will be. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. So there's just even more evidence to that fact. Those microtransactions, exactly, Sarah. Exactly. Anyways, moving on a little bit. If you guys want a COD League little weapon charm, it'll look like this image right here. So let me see. View. Oh, no. View image. There we go. So you guys can see it right there. You see the little... It's like a COD League lanyard keychain that you would wear out of your left pocket attached to your car keys that you just got for your 17th birthday when you go out to lunch for 30 minutes in high school. It looks like that. And it says Call of Duty League on it. So if you want that weapon charm, you go to callofdutyleague.com and then you sign up for emails. And it'll be in the top toward the right. It'll say sign up. You can do that, and then you will get a little weapon charm in game. I don't know if you get it right away, but you get it soon. So if you're interested in that, I thought I would bring it to your attention. So there you go. Warzone will also be updated to support PS5 and Xbox Series X consoles. So for you console peasants who are still going to get a console, number one, you obviously didn't listen to episode 22, a console is a computer. So listen to that. But number two, rest assured, you will be able to play on PS5 and Xbox Series X Warzone. Although by the time those release, COD 2020 is like going to be about to come out, so most people aren't going to give a shit by that time. So what else do we have here? Okay, let me read into this article here. So Warzone devs says game will be a constant through different Call of Duty releases. And I'm not sure what this means. With the release of COD Warzone being free to play, many fans have wondered how Warzone will fit into the COD world when the new yearly COD releases deploy. Although we still don't have a clear picture as to what that will look like, Infinity Ward's Taylor Kurosaki said in an interview that Warzone has challenged the studios to rethink content release strategy to best support the variety of players now in COD, given that Warzone is free to play. So, the Infinity Ward Kurosaki man said Warzone will be the through line that connects the various COD sub-franchises. He also says Warzone will be the one constant of Call of Duty every year with the different sub-franchises of Call of Duty. It's not clear what that means and how long they plan to support Warzone, or if other COD devs will release content or maps for Warzone based off of their games. Quote, "We're in kind of uncharted territories here. COD's been on a very regular cadence for many years, and Warzone has made us rethink how best to release new content and how to integrate it. COD is a genre in and of itself. There are different branches in the COD tree, but they're all connected in some ways. Warzone will be the through line that connects all the different sub-franchises. It's going to be really cool to see how the different sub-franchises sort of come in and out of focus, but Warzone will be the one constant." Now, my question for you, Tanner. Does this mean that the current application that's installed on my computer is expected to be the BR for the next 3 to 5 years? Or is each dev team going to release Call of Duty Warzone Black Ops Edition, but so they're always going to be calling it Warzone? Do you see what I'm asking?
Yeah, when you were first reading all that, I was extremely confused. I'm like, does this mean every dev team is going to take over this Warzone and change it? But yeah, I guess they're just calling it Warzone. I mean, that obviously makes the most sense by far. That's what it's going to be then. So basically, it's confirmed there's going to be a battle royale in every Call of Duty coming up the next few years, which frankly pisses me off.
It's so weird to me. I don't think that was clear one way or the other. Like, I'm not sure if it is going to be the Warzone that's installed on our hard drives now, or if they're just deciding to name all future COD BRs Warzone and then redeveloping them from the ground up. It's very curious to me.
If the next game is made by Treyarch and it's Black Ops 5, except it's going to be called something different probably, they're not going to work on the same Warzone we're playing now, obviously. It's going to be a totally new game.
It must be, you're right. It must be.
I don't know, though. Do you think Treyarch really has time to make a BR? I mean, they didn't release this BR at launch. They didn't know how it was going to do. I mean, what if Treyarch hadn't even been working on a BR this whole time?
That's true, and it's possible that Infinity Ward or Raven, I think Raven's the main driver of Warzone, just is like the dedicated team for Warzone for the next 3 years, and there won't be a new BR next year. And they're just going to constantly keep updating Warzone, even when COD 2020 comes out.
Yeah,
that would be interesting.
That's an interesting thought. Yeah,
that would be interesting. So it's kind of unclear from this interview, but I am curious to see what exactly that's going to entail. When COD 2020 gets announced, which should be soon, which we're going to get into in a minute, we will probably have more details on whether or not a BR will be a different application or not. So let's look for that here. Here we go. Here we are, rather. So, Jeff Cayley announces Summer Game Fest, a 4-month-long digital game showcase. So, whatever. Summer Game Fest, I don't know. They're going to be showcasing announcements, in-game events, demos, and more. Think E3 kind of deal. It's just going to be a bunch of big names going to an event, or maybe an event, and announcing shit. And guess who's on the lineup? Activision. This is going to be May through August of this year. So over the next 4 months, since Activision is on this lineup, we can expect to see probably pretty soon an announcement by Activision. Activision is in charge of quite a few dev teams. The fact that they're even partnered with Blizzard means they have a lot of games in their wheelhouse. But I would be shocked if we didn't see a COD 2020 announcement during this Summer Game Fest. So, as I said, we will be getting some announcements on that pretty soon in all likelihood. So that'll be interesting. So we can keep our eyes peeled for that. And then they've also said at that meeting that COD 2020 already looks great and is on track for later this year. So it looks like COVID-19 may not have delayed the launch of the game any longer than normal. I wouldn't be surprised if it came out in late October, early November of this year. So just white knuckle it, boys and girls. Couple more months, and then we're going to be done with shit visibility in all likelihood, Nostrum Prey. So that's good.
Well, the game will have plenty of other issues, don't worry.
Yeah.
We'll have visibility, but we'll have 40 other things that are fucking horrible.
Yeah, hopefully no operate. If there's no operators, I think it's going to be great, but we'll see, like you said. So, let's see here. So, Activision Blizzard announced that the company generated $956 million in revenue from microtransactions in Q1 2020. So from January through March, they made basically $1 billion from microtransactions. Now, that's not just from Modern Warfare, but you can bet your bottom dollar that Modern Warfare was a big contributing factor to that. So this is actually kind of good because the current microtransaction model does not sell anything that is that impacts gameplay. So it's not like BO4 where they're hiding OP weapons behind loot boxes and paywalls. I actually really like this because that means they're going to do microtransactions the same way because the players are happy and it's making the company a fuck ton of money. Do not expect microtransactions to change. I don't think we're ever going back to loot boxes that people disapproved of, as is the case with BO4, World War II, and maybe even earlier titles. So this is actually good news. This is where I like to see the company being rewarded. I like to see them getting financially rewarded for having a decision that is made that it has the best interests of the player base at heart. That's great, because this is going to incentivize them to continue doing that, and then everyone's happy. I think the opposite is the case, or maybe not the opposite, but I think there are players who will suffer with respect to the Warzone free-to-play multiplayer paid whole shitstorm. Because if you really love multiplayer, that's not great for you. But this is great for everyone, so that's good to hear. And then the last thing I wanted to go over, kind of a fuzzy little story. So keep in mind, in 4 months, they made $956 million in microtransactions alone. And now let's move on to the next story. Activision Blizzard donates $2 million to help veterans find jobs. Now let me pull up my calculator here. Here, let me see. Google.com. Let's see. So 956 million divided by 2. What is that? What does that equal? That's not what I was trying to do. I think I was trying to do 2. Yeah, well, this is what we call not quick maths. Is it 2 over 968? 900. I can't even type now. Let me just refresh this. Okay, hold on. 2 over 956. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. 2 over 956. Yeah, there we go. So that is 2 100ths. Wait, what is that? 2.09%, said Crichton. Yeah. I don't think it's that much. I don't think it's that much at all. Is it? No, it's definitely not. It's definitely not 2%. No. It is.
No.
It is 0.2%. 0.2% of their earnings in 4 months they've donated. So, sorry for that huge detour. I haven't been to college in quite a while, obviously. But anyway, Activision Blizzard did donate $2 million to help veterans find jobs. That was mostly a joke. I know it's not much of their budget, but they have a lot of expenses. They're a massive company. They have to pay rent, salaries, etc. for all their cell phones to give to their employees or their phone numbers. But it's cool, I guess, that they donated some money to help veterans find jobs. Nice of them to do. They didn't have to do that, so I think it's a good gesture. And I really have nothing else to say about it other than to make a stupid little joke that I wasn't very serious about. Because I don't think you should shame companies who donated to helpful causes just because it isn't a fraction of their total earnings in any time period. But
know what pisses me off is when you see things on Twitter about like how, you know, some billionaire how he donated like 30 or 40 million somewhere, and then somebody's like, that's such bullshit, like that's less than 1% of what he made last year. It's like, oh my fucking god, he still donated 30 or 40 million. Shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
That pisses me off so much.
He could have also not donated anything at all, and then he wouldn't have been mentioned on Twitter, and then you wouldn't be bitching about him.
Yep.
You know? So it's like, you can't win. You can't win.
And it's always about Jeff Bezos too. Always
about Jeff Bezos.
It's always about, oh, his net worth is this much. Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. So, last thing. That's it for news. So keep in mind, we're going to be playing some Warzone, I think. We're not sure what we're going to be doing after the pod.
It is confirmed trios. I got the confirmation.
You got the confirmation? Okay. Okay, cool. So we will be doing some Warzone after the pod. How have you been enjoying Warzone, Tanner? Because we've been playing it a lot more, right? Like exclusively, really.
Yeah, just because we need to get more used to it. Trios is substantially better, like I thought. I don't ever like quads in BRs. I've never liked them. There's too many people to kill. You down one guy, you know, if some of your teammates are dead or if they're in the building next to you, you kill one guy, you just have to keep shooting everybody. And the time to kill is too high in this game to do that. It's hard to do 1v4s, 1v3s. Trios is just so much better. That's why I think duos could actually be really, really fun in this game. We all know solos is a fucking camp fest. And quads is just, I think it's too many personally. So trios has been way more fun. Duos, I'm very excited for. That's coming out next week, confirmed. Just kidding.
Yeah, we'll keep that in mind. Yeah, I've been enjoying Warzone a lot more, just in general. Even solos, I've done very few of, but I did a couple. Quads has been less fun than any of the other variants, but they're still kind of fun. But yeah, there's too much going on, and it's hard to communicate effectively and agree on shit when you have 4 people. Like, there's too much arguing, bickering. That probably has more to do with my shit teammates. Hold on 1 second. That probably has more to do with my shit teammates than anything. But nonetheless, I still do enjoy it. You just have to, just like Tanner said, Tanner made the point that if we wanted to actually get good at Warzone, we need to only play Warzone so that we can get used to the time to kill with armor. Because it's so much different than multiplayer that you'll take a fight against like 2 people. Like, okay, for example, if I turn a corner in multiplayer and there's 2 or even 3 people that are facing away from me in multiplayer, I'm going to take that fight and I'll probably kill all 3 of them. Because the time to kill is so fast, they're not going to have time to turn around and fuck my ass. So and I've played so much multiplayer that's my instinct. It's like, oh, okay, I've flanked these 2 dudes or these 3 dudes. Let's fucking bang. Let's bang. And then if you do that in Warzone and they all have full armor, even if you also have full armor, it's going to take you way too long to down all 3 of them before they get their thumbs out of their asses, turn around and triple team you and immediately destroy you. So I think you do have to just play Warzone only to get really good at it. But that has been what we've been doing for maybe a week or so, maybe 2 weeks. And now that I'm getting more used to that time to kill, more used to that cadence, I've been enjoying it quite a bit more. But I do echo Tanner's sentiments. The fewer players on a squad, I think the easier and the better and the less chaotic. And I'd rather do like a 2v2 than a 4v4. So the thing is, I don't like solos because I'm just playing alone, and I definitely enjoy playing alone sometimes, but I don't enjoy taking the game seriously when I play alone. Because if I'm playing alone, I'm like listening to a podcast and I'm not like taking it super serious. I'm just grinding a weapon out or something. So duos would be ideal for me because it would be the least amount of chaos, but you also get to like play with a friend, you know? So that'll be really fun. And doing like a 2v2 sounds fucking dope. So I'm very excited for duos. Very excited.
I was usually playing with any more than 3 players. It's too much talking unless we're playing with Big Vanilla and his clone who doesn't speak at all. You know,
Yeah.
it's too much you have to listen to. It's just an extra person that you kind of have to have in the back of your mind, like, oh, this teammate's over here. He said he's doing this. He said there's a guy this direction. You know, it's more things going on in your head, and I just want to click on heads.
Yeah. Yeah, it simplifies it when the squad gets smaller. I still do enjoy 4s, but I do like 3s better, and I suspect 2s will be really fucking fun. So
yeah. We also haven't played trios a ton, though. We're still doing our the Dropshot LLC's internal testing on trios. So
true. So keep your eyes peeled for that, and you'll be privy to some of that internal testing. It'll be external testing in a second. But here's the last thing for this episode that I wanted to show you guys. Tanner, restart your computer. So here we go. Here we go. This is a comment I received on an Instagram post of mine. Now, I blurred out the guy's name, but if you really wanted to find it, you can follow me on Instagram at RazanonTTV, which I've conveniently linked for you in the Twitch chat, twitch.tv/Razanon. Wednesdays and Saturdays, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Find us live. And the clip that he was commenting on, this individual, it was just a 1-minute snippet of like Tanner and I talking about our COD 2020 predictions and how we liked the old challenge calling card system better. And he made a totally unrelated comment to this clip, but he's obviously listened to the podcast. So let me read this to you. At RazanonTTV, you guys complaining about aim assist is ridiculous. By the way, he misspelled ridiculous because of course he did. He spelled it Rediculous. Now, for those of you who may still be in school, it's spelled Ridiculous. So start there. So already sentence 1, I have a barometer for this guy's IQ level. So let me start over. You guys complaining about aim assist is ridiculous. If you play on PC, you have such an advantage. There is no way everyone on PC is just God on COD. It's because you have a fucking mouse. How the hell do you miss shots with a mouse, buddy? Nice try, though. And that's the end of the comment. So let me tell you what went through my head when I read this comment. I wake up, getting ready to, go to work, scrolling through my phone a little bit, and I read this comment. So the first thing I do is laugh very hard. Very hard. The first time I laughed was when I read ridiculous, because I already knew he was mad by the end of that sentence. And then the fact that he misspelled that word was just the icing on the cake. So I'm just uproarious belly laughter. It was a great way to wake up. And then the second thing I noticed is, oh, this is a console peasant who has never once played an FPS on PC. Now, how do you know that, Casey? Excellent question. Let me tell you. How the hell do you miss shots with a mouse, buddy? He says. Well, sir, that's how I know you've never played on a computer before. Because it's obviously not as easy as you fucking think it is. Because if it was, then they wouldn't have crossplay. Go watch any PC streamer who plays Call of Duty, who is not one of the most popular streamers in the world, and you will very quickly realize that the average PC player does not aim like Shroud or Syrian or Nate Gibson or the gaming definition or insert godlike PC player. The vast majority are average by definition. And it is a lot harder to aim with a mouse than you think. And further, it's a lot harder to aim without aim assist than you think. And the person who wrote this comment, again, has never used a mouse before. So he thinks his aim would be as sticky as it is on console he thinks his aim would be as sticky as it is on console on PC with a mouse. And that is just not true. So if you're one of these console peasants who agrees with the sentiment of this comment, I need to urge you to consider that you've been playing with aim assist for so long that you don't even recognize that it's there. And I assure you it is there. And if you think it's so fucking easy to aim with a mouse, then plug a mouse into your dumb fucking console and play a couple games without aim assist and see how you do. Now, I know as listeners of the Dropshot Call of Duty podcast, the vast majority of you are not this ill-informed. But some of you may be. Give it a try. Play for an afternoon with a mouse and keyboard. See how well you do. And then maybe you'll rethink your ideas about how easy it is to aim with a mouse. Just flick your wrist, forehead. Okay, dude. Hey, dude. Okay, dude. How about that? He needs to read a book. Exactly, Adbruin. Exactly. So let me catch up on chat here a little bit before we depart. Here we go. Let's see. 2 So yeah, Crichton, you were wrong about 2%, idiot. So take that. Say again. Multiplayer has too many console noobs. I don't know. I don't know if it has more console players than Warzone. I think it's about the same. Itchy with the tier 2 sub. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Itchy, thank you. I'm honored, humbled, privileged for a total of 9 months on a 3-month streakerino. Itchy with the tier 2, dude. I'm honored. I'm privileged. I'm blessed. Thank you, dude. I really appreciate you. You know I love you, Itch. You're literally the worst on every team, but okay, Boomer. Rich coming from you, Boomer. So keep that in mind. first, by the way. And he's also got the founder's badge. Itchy's a demon. All right. He needs to read a book. Yeah, he does need to read a book. Go to work. Okay, well, I get up to brush my teeth, wrangle my massive white penis out of my shorts, and then piss in my toilet with it. And then I get on my computer, log into my VPN, and do work remotely. So it counts. So you love all of us, slut, says Sarah. Wow. Wow. There may or may not be truth to that. I plead the fifth. Damascus, if a mouse makes all the difference, hook one up to your console because a console is a computer. Exactly, Damascus. Exactly. And also, yeah, by the way, let me address this. I say console peasant. Hey, dude, we're talking. Let me be abundantly clear. This is a podcast about a fucking video game. Okay. So if you're over the age where you can download podcasts on your own without parental supervision, and you can listen to this podcast, which is filthy, then you should also be old enough to recognize that, once again, this is a podcast about a video game. And it's not that serious. Okay? I don't care that you're on console. It doesn't actually make a difference to me. I don't think you're a bad person. I don't really give a flying fuck what system you play on. You're still a console peasant, though. But don't take it so serious, man. It's just a game. I'm just joking. I couldn't care less, really. I'm just trying to make the argument to you that a console is a computer and that you might as well just buy an actual PC. And I'm not going to rehash that entire argument. I've gone over it. But the bottom line is, this is a podcast about a video game. If you're getting offended that I'm calling you a console peasant, relax, dude. I'm just joking. But you're an actual console peasant. But it's not that big of a deal. So figure it out.
Hey, I love consoles. I have a 4K Xbox One X sitting behind me, and I've been playing Red Dead Redemption 2 lately, so...
Okay, well, so there you go. So you can take... So if you're a console peasant, you can take solace in the fact that Tanner, the co-host of your favorite podcast on planet Earth, is also a console peasant. So you and Tanner can go suck each other's cocks. How about that?
Well, Glida and I are waiting for you, so...
I'll keep that in mind. All right, thanks for watching, everyone. We're going to raid Tanner and do some Warzone trays. Have an excellent evening. And as always, remember, stay humble.
Stay humble.